So this is a dream I had like a few nights ago, and what seemed so off about it is how mundane and how normal it was. Like there was no weird twist. Like my dreams are usually abstract as hell, or they have some underlying narrative where like there's some ongoing story, something like that. But this one, it just seemed like a regular everyday thing. It was so boring that it really caught my attention, and I couldn't stop paying attention to all the details in the dream. How it started was my fiance and I, we were moving into this new apartment, and this new apartment, uh, it was like one of those apartments you see in like the city where they're like gentrifying the city, and they're building like a new high rise or something. It was like a really fancy looking apartment, and we were moving all of our stuff in. When we were in the actual apartment, we were setting up a bookshelf. I remember that much because I was setting books into the bookshelf, and out of nowhere, I hear a door. Like I hear the door knocking, and my fiance looks to me and she's like, "Are you gonna answer that?" And I go and answer the door. I answer it, and right before me there is this girl. I describe her as like this gothic, like she's very much goth, but she was wearing like a white witch dress, and she had long curly blonde hair, but her dark roots were showing. She had a piercing right in the middle of her lip, and she had tattoos like on her chin, like little dots going up her chin up to her lip, and then right here on her eye, they're like little dots circling around the eye. And she was holding a pie, and she offered us a pie, and she was just like, "We saw you were new in the neighborhood, and just thought, welcome you here." And my fiance came up behind me, and she was just like, "Oh, thank you, appreciate that." Um, so she invited us to dinner later that night, and we went. I remember in the dream I was getting dressed, and I was wearing like black everything. Like I was wearing a black hat, black pants, black like shoes, black everything. And I couldn't really tell what my fiance was wearing. It's like while we were on our way to the neighbor's house, she was always in my peripheral, so I couldn't really see what she was wearing. But I knew that I was wearing all black. So we walked out the door, and we walked up to their door. It was a red door, and the number on the side said 620. And we rang the doorbell, and she opened it up, and she was still wearing the same white dress, uh, blonde hair, everything. Like her face is so vivid in my memory, it bothers me, honestly. And her husband was like right behind her, and her husband was wearing like this big hat, like like the hat that the Undertaker would wear. Like I don't know if you watched like WWF,
Yeah.
but like that hat that the Undertaker would wear, he was wearing that, and he was wearing like a really long coat, and he was wearing like black platform boots, and he had silver rings all on his fingers. All like every one of his fingers had like silver rings, and the one that stood out the most was like the one in his his left hand. It had like this raven on it. It was like the skull of a raven, and that I don't know why that particular ring stood out more than the others, but definitely did. So they invited us in for like a little house tour before dinner. And so we're walking around, and I start realizing, like, this apartment is way bigger than it should be. Like, this apartment is like 3 stories tall, and like everything on the walls is like something I saw out of like the Addams Family. Like, for real, there were certain things that I would look up at the wall, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's from the Addams Family. But it wasn't that house. It was just random things that were just like oddities were just like spread around the house. And we end up in a room, and the only thing in that room is like this toilet. It's just like this one toilet in the corner, and then the whole entire room was empty. And then we turn around, and there's 2 other people. I can't see their face, and they're all dressed in black. I can't see their face. It's all like in their face. Every time I tried to look up, like I could see the other couple that invited me over. I couldn't see the other 2 people that were there. And their faces were like all fuzzy, and they kept behind in my peripheral. We walk over to the table, and they have this nice setup. It's like this big roast ham in the middle of the table, and a bunch of like fixins and stuff everywhere. And we eat, and you know, we pretty much like talk about like, oh, I like your wardrobe, like, oh, I like your wardrobe. We just start complimenting each other and stuff like that. And afterwards, we thank them for the meal, and we start headed to the door. We turn around, and the girl in white looks at us, and she's like, "You guys are welcome back anytime. Thank you, we really appreciate it." And we walk out the door, turn to look back one more time, door closes, and then I wake up to the sound of my alarm.